Just do it. That's the motto for Lindy's rebuilding year.
Did you just think of that?
Yeah, I did.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Just do it. Lindy's rebuilding year, question mark? Just do it.
It's truly the dumbest segment we've ever done on the
show. What?
Actually, it's not. Megan's journey to this day is the dumbest.
No, people loved it.
Megan's journey was so stupid.
People loved it.
I deserve to lose at sports because of Megan's journey. Welcome to Text Me Back Podcast, the only podcast who has never gotten excited about baseball in their lives. Therefore, our feelings can't be hurt. I'm Megan.
And I'm Lindy, and that's true about me.
I sleep well every night.
Oh, Megan, you've had a bad week.
Oh, it's been so rough. And then listening to last week's episode at the beginning where I was like, I don't know what happens. I wish I could get her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although we talked about this off air, I think. And I was like, say they had won and moved forward.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have actually released you from your prison.
No.
You would have stepped into a smaller, even more deeper, terrifying prison.
Correct.
So
that's right.
In some way you've been liberated.
I've been liberated in many ways. Yeah, I think I think you asked me like, well, would you have been happy if they won? And I was like, I would have been happy for the 4 days between Game 7 and Game 1 of the World Series, and then I would have been right back. That would be my little furlough.
Yeah, and
then on Friday I'd be right back in that jail.
To use a sports metaphor, you just move the goalposts.
Exactly.
You think you got what you wanted, but then
exactly, you sure didn't. You're in a new prison. Still, I want to be in that prison one day. I really do. I would love to be sent there.
That's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Mm-hmm. That's how they do it. It's interesting. They invented sports just to hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's so funny to me that human beings were like, we're tired of the normal means of pain and suffering. We should invent a new kind. And they were like, how about sports?
Got to be history's most dastardly guy. In the dastardly records, he's up top, number one.
Mm-hmm. Number one guy.
He said, not only have I invented a new form of torture, I'm going to tell them that it's for fun.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them
that they like
this is like a fun hobby.
Yeah.
And also I'm going to charge them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to make them generationally sad and tell them it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get over it. I think right where I am emotionally currently is like going into the series, I was like, well, if we lose to Toronto, that's not the worst thing ever. Like, they are also a long-suffering baseball fandom and city. And now I'm like, I'm so sorry because I know we have a lot of listeners in Canada.
What are you going to say, Megan?
Fuck those dicks. Like, fuck Toronto, fuck the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, now I'm like, I know I feel really bad about it. I don't want to be this person, but I was like, I hate them and I want them to die. It's so stupid. I know, it's so evil.
That's not what you were saying. By the way, like the day of the game, the last game, you were like, if they lose or whatever, I think it's funny that Canada wins. And
I do technically think that that's funny. Yeah.
Like, if it had to go to somebody, let it be Toronto. But then now you've already changed your tune.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel, because it's so, here's the complication for people who don't really follow baseball. And God bless you. Teach me your secrets. But so it's the Toronto Blue Jays versus the LA Dodgers. Rooting for the Dodgers is like rooting for Elon Musk to get more money. You know what I mean? It's like, they're the Goliath. They've got like the potentially the greatest baseball player who ever lived plays for them. He pitches and he hits, and he's like insanely good at both. In their championship series, he rocked a dinger out of the stadium. He hit a home run out of the park. It left the park.
That's cool.
And
Did they find it?
I don't know. The funny thing is, when the camera guy was trying to, show it on TV, like show the home run he couldn't find the ball. So like this clip is like just the camera sort of like, where the fuck did it go? Like that's how terrifying Shohei Ohtani is. And so he's like fun to root for. But the Dodgers spend the most money of anybody in MLB. There's no salary cap in MLB, which is kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know.
That is interesting.
Potentially kind of evil. Oh, I think they spend slightly less than the Mets, but whatever. Anyway, so it's kind of like it is like rooting for a billionaire to win the World Series.
And they, just as of today, I've been alerted to a new crime of the Dodgers, which is that they think that according to my 2-minute Google search, Dodger fans think that Carnation Malt Cup is a Dodgers home specialty.
Get out of my fucking face forever.
J'excuse me?
J'excuse-moi? Here's what I'll say. I guess technically I am rooting for Toronto, but honestly, first of all, I don't like that the Toronto people say you're not supposed to say the second T.
Don't put it in there then. Don't put it in there then.
It's Toronto.
Toronto.
Is it? Or is that something that white people invented when they showed up there? I'm not saying it like that. There's 2 frickin' T's in there. I'm saying them both. Bitch.
Meagan, that's how you get back at them. That's your revenge.
ToronTOE. No, they've got like fun guys on their team. Vladdy Guerrero is hilarious, and he hates the Yankees as much as I do, which is really satisfying. He's just a big, beefy boy who loves to hit dingers. Now, Toronto also has a lying, cheating-ass meathead fuckhead named George Springer. I hope he gets IBS and can't play. I do hope that, and I am sorry. But I will be hanging on to that little piece of hate. And I do want to apologize to all the Blue Jays fans who are listening, but that guy sucks. And I think deep down, you know that I'm right. So he's a cheater. He likes to cheat.
How did he cheat?
It's a long and boring story, but a long time ago. Well, not that long ago, but the Astros got caught up in a big cheating scandal. They were stealing signs. And not just like, oh, I happen to know what that sign means and I'm trying to send a signal to the guy at bat. That's one thing. Oh, everybody does that. They did like a whole like coordinated effort with cameras and they would like bang a certain like Morse code into a garbage can to like alert the hitter what the pitcher was about to pitch. And the top beneficiary of this cheating scheme was George Springer, who used to play for the Astros. He couldn't get enough of the cheating.
Yum, 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 yum.
I kind of feel like
now
that sucks, you know?
Yeah,
I like that.
It's against the spirit of the ball.
That's so true.
For people who don't follow sports, when you say stealing signs, you mean like how the catcher's like,
yeah, he throws those listening audioly. It's like when the catcher. Well, now they have this thing called PitchCom. I only just discovered this because I wasn't paying attention. I have not been paying attention for a long time.
Yeah,
they just like talk to each other through their earpiece.
I don't like so that you don't as much.
I don't either because I like that you have to learn a special language.
Me too.
It's like cute.
The people who know how to talk with the flags, you know?
Yes, I like that.
Does each baseball team have its own secret sign language?
I don't know.
When you say stealing, you just mean the players are watching and then they're somehow communicating it to the batter?
Well, yeah, because it's like on TV.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So they're like, bang, 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 bang. It's a slider.
Yeah. But it's not like, oh, we sent in a guy to pretend to be the bat boy to find out their own special bespoke signs.
We sent in a catcher who the Yankees are paying $80 million over 5 years. And he's just giving us those signs. Ooh, baby.
One thing before we maybe stop talking about baseball.
I don't know. No, this is it. No, I promise. We are not talking about
honestly,
baseball again until next October. I promise.
I have enjoyed the baseball arc. But I'm not particularly, I am one of those people who's like, baseball, it's a lot of waiting and a lot of math.
Yes.
Like, I feel like the people who are really into baseball are really into stats, which is very math adjacent.
Don't give a shit about that at all. Yeah.
But I think an undersung pleasure of baseball that you just reminded me of is that there are elements of espionage more so than in any other sport. I do like the secret language. That's why I don't, the pitcher comm, whatever is giving Sydney Bristow.
Yeah, it is like that.
I do like that. That makes it more fun for me.
Yeah.
I also think it's cute when boys tell each other secrets.
I know, it's so tender.
Yeah. Okay. So
anyway, I'm moving on emotionally. It's difficult because, it's really hard. There's a part of me that just wishes they got swept in 4 because it's hard to like get your hopes up. And we were winning that game for like 2/3 of the game. Then my enemy, the fathead cheater, beat us in like the 6th or 7th inning or whatever it was. But I'm okay. But can I just say something? I think this is the most vulnerable I've ever been on this show. And a lot of people wrote in to say that they felt bad for me, parentheses complimentary. And that was really sweet. So thank you. No, genuinely, it was really nice. And I am an insane person about sports, but there's not another sport that I have a team in. Well, I guess I could get into hockey. I could get into the Kraken.
I mean, you could get into the Storm.
Yeah, but they're done. They play over the summer.
Oh, you just mean currently playing?
Yeah, like currently. I don't have anything to distract me currently. Like I could pretend I care about the Milwaukee Bucks.
You should.
I'm not from there.
You have to be. You have to be from there.
I feel like I do.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think I said this before. Like to me, sports is, I like to watch the game play.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me, it's like, I'm from here and we did this together. Like it feels like I'm on the team of my neighbors
totally
playing basketball, And so it's, I could, my husband's from Wisconsin. Of course I love Giannis. Like I have no beef with the Milwaukee Bucks, but it's never going to be the same as like.
No venison with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay. Well, you ruined it.
No, I didn't. Okay.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No,
you did.
Can I say something?
Sure. Is it going to be a stupid pun?
No.
Okay, then yes.
I totally get the hometown thing. Obviously, it's been taken from us, NBA wise.
NBA wise, to be very clear, they took our male National Basketball Association team away.
The other part of sports, and I know that you care about this, I know that you feel this, what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
We love the hometown patriotism, but we also love the characters.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's fun if there's a team that has some of your favorite guys on it, just be like, I picked that one this season,
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the intensity will never be as
you're never going to weep.
Great.
You're not going to cry over the Bucks.
No, never.
Or as I like to call them, the Milwaukee Bugs. That's what I call them. It's not a pun.
Yeah, but it's still dumb.
Why is it dumb? It's funny to pretend the mascot is Bugs.
My favorite thing about you is that you will say the dumbest thing I've ever heard and then be like, how is it dumb? Why would you say that? Oh my God. You know.
Anyway. That hurts my feelings. Oh yeah, remember we used to say, ouch, my feelings. And by we, I bet it was me.
Just you. But yeah, we're done talking about sports. Thanks for going along on this journey with us. I did cry when they lost. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, it's okay. Everything's going to be fine. We still have like a good team, whatever. And then the fucking algorithm was like, hey, do you want to see a video of Cal Raleigh crying in the locker room? And I was like, no, I don't. I myself just stopped crying 5 minutes ago. Okay, well, that's what's going on with sports. We're not going to talk about it no more, I promise. And I guess we're going to start this show now, which
we haven't started?
No. Here's what we're going to do today. Well, we had on the list potential conclusion of baseball, so that was that. We concluded baseball. Baseball's over.
Is closed.
We're going to talk about Lindy's rebuilding year. There's a lot of stuff we want to yell about politics for the first time in a long time. Well, for the first time in a long time on this show. Yeah. We have been yelling about them for a while elsewhere. But first, we wanted to follow up because a few weeks ago, we finally told the tale of my horrible high school soccer coach, whose name was Brian. And I was like, if you're on that team and you remember Brian, will you write in? Because I don't know if I'm just remembering him being a dick, but it was because I was a little teenage asshole, or if he actually was one, let me know. So we got an email from Cailin, who I also went to college with, by the way, who said, member of the JV Garfield soccer team here. I for sure voted for you for that beautiful award. I don't remember the stupid coach, but you were always getting us fired up on the bus as we traveled to the dumb east side to play in their mall-like facilities. I can't remember the specifics of the injustices you were pointing out on those bus rides, but it was inspirational. You will always be most insp in my heart. Cailin. Cailin is truly the greatest email I've ever received.
Just a reminder, the soccer coach who hated Meagan gave everyone a participation trophy, and Meagan's just said most insp.
Yeah, he didn't want to spring for the extra orational.
Yeah. But her teammates insisted that Meagan was their biggest insp.
I was one of the top insps.
The team. I also was on JV basketball with Cailin.
Nice.
Oh, just a gem.
A gem. A true gem. Just a lovely person. I will say that, like, her saying in the email, I don't remember that, suggests to me that I was a teenage asshole who's remembering it worse than it actually was. Otherwise, it would stick out in more people's minds. You know what I mean?
Justice for Brian.
Okay. I guess justice for Brian. Brian, if you're listening, which you absolutely aren't. I know you aren't.
Well, we didn't know anyone from the team was listening at all. And then here's Cailin.
Okay, yeah, well, if you're Brian, whose last name I don't remember, and I remember you were sort of bald and wore round glasses, if that sounds like you, and if you're probably, I don't know, he's probably 50 now.
Yeah.
Right in.
Also, if you're Cailin, can you remind me, like, who was our coach on JV? I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember is that one time I hit a buzzer beater baseline 3. And that was,
you did?
Yeah. And that was the highlight of my life.
To this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
I had that one moment of glory. And honestly, that's enough for me. I achieved it. And now I can just stick to horse.
We were texting with Samantha Irby because she was lending her support to the Mariners throughout this series as well. At one point, I think I texted her to be like, can you tie me to the train tracks? I don't want to live anymore. But we got on the topic of it. And like the fun thing about sport, I think what I really like about them is like tens of thousands of people all in something together. It's kind of nice. It's really rather sweet. And there's something about the sound of 40,000 people going, yeah, like all together.
Oh yeah.
It's like the most beautiful sound in the world. And so truly there's nothing I love more. And Sammy said this too, is just like watching highlight reels.
I like how we brought it back to baseball and sports.
Oh, God, I know.
Again.
Sorry. I said we're all done until next October. Now look at us. Two liars.
What if we go outside after this recording and we look at the calendar and it's next October? and
the Mariners are in the playoffs again?
Yeah.
Here to torture me?
By the way, Seattle, if you're doing your early voting, vote Katie Wilson for mayor.
Wow, out of nowhere. But yeah, I agree.
There was a chain of events in my head that got me there, which was, I was like, oh, what if we fast forwarded a year? Then I wouldn't get to vote. Because I get to vote in Jefferson County for the first time.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And then I was like, voting's important. And then I was like, pre-taped Cailin show. When does this episode come out?
When does this episode go? Yeah, you do have time. You're listening to this on October 30th. And so if you live in Seattle, text me back as proud to endorse Katie Wilson for mayor. Sorry we didn't do it sooner.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty clear from our Instagram feeds, but
yeah,
like,
please.
come on.
Please.
Not Bruce Harrell, please.
Please.
This man's out here talking about Garfield Public High School. I'll never get over it. I'll never get over it. Who calls it that? What a freak. Seattle, elect a non-crazy mayor, challenge, parentheses, level impossible.
No, parentheses, level possible.
Possible.
Let's
please.
do it.
Anyway, Bruce Harrell sucks. If you live in Seattle, vote Katie Wilson. If you're like, oh, but I don't, just
do it. Just do it.
We're going to take a breaky break. And when we come back, we're talking about Lindy's rebuilding year. Stay tuned. So what's going on with your rebuilding year?
Yeah, I just thought we should check in on Lindy's rebuilding year. Now, some of you might be saying, Lindy, okay, we've been doing your rebuilding year for almost a year.
Yeah.
And you look worse.
You're disintegrating before our very eyes.
You seem not rebuilt but demolished.
You look like the kingdom, bitch. Imploded.
You seem more bad. And to that I say, yes, but all this sports talk got me thinking. The NBA season is just starting. It doesn't end until like June, end of June, maybe. Why should I have to follow the Roman calendar?
Oh.
Is that what it is? Is that what we follow?
I don't know, but this is crazy. What you're saying is nuts.
No, it's not. Rebuilding?
No, it's not. No, it isn't. Just because I started this in January of the Roman calendar and basketball season was at its halfway point when I started doesn't mean... There's nothing weird about it!
Listen, rebuilding year is a sports term.
Oh!
That's what they say in the NBA when they are when the team's not doing good. They say, "Oh, well, it's a rebuilding year." We're just
sure. And they usually say it right around January 1st, after you're 3 or 4 months into the season.
No, they don't, Megan. And that's why.
And that's why you said it in January about yourself.
That's why it doesn't apply to me on that timeline. So
gotcha.
what I'm saying is Lindy's rebuilding year doesn't end until the end of June.
Okay.
Lindy's
Lindy's rebuilding year is 1 calendar year, but 2 basketball season years long.
Don't worry about that, Megan.
Okay.
The point is that the trade deadline for 2025 was like the beginning of February. So I'm sorry. I start my rebuilding year on Jan 1. I have to finish all my trades by Feb 5? No.
Oh my God.
I need time to make my trades and do my wheeling and do my dealing. So therefore, what I realized was that according to the rule book, Lindy's rebuilding year doesn't close until the end of June 2026. That's all I'm saying.
There's nothing in the rule book that says that 1 year can't take 2 years.
There's nothing in the rule book that says a Sasquatch can't have a podcast.
Okay.
So to that end, I have 2 new ideas for Lindy's rebuilding year.
Yeah, I'd like to know I'd like to hear some of your trade options.
Yes. Hey, by the way, I don't want to say that Lindy's rebuilding year has been a failure. We rehabilitated my WikiFeet score.
It kind of seems like you are saying that, but I'll let you continue.
Let me say again. We rehabilitated. We said clear on Lindy's on Lindy's feet. 1 paddle on each foot. We brought him back from the brink of 3 stars parentheses okay feet. I waxed my legs, so that helped me. So I have 2 new ideas. One is okay. I thought my nails. Now they look bad.
Yes, they do. Please continue.
It costs like $85 to have a lady do them for you.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought of another victory for Lindy's rebuilding year. I got my passport back.
Oh, that's true. That was actually that I will.
That counts. That's a good one. Okay,
that was a good one.
I can't be driving an hour to Port Townsend to get my nails done. You know what I mean? Spending $85 on gas and another $85 on my nails, and another $85 on my toenails.
$85 on gas, you say?
Listen, Megan, it's not Lindy's math tutoring year. I'm just guesstimating over here.
Okay.
Then I thought there's so much technology now. I don't know if you know this. They got technology up the wazoo, Megan. There's gotta be some.
I'm hearing this. You know, I'm hearing this more and more. I am.
There's gotta be some kind of nail technology for dunces and duds that I can do at home to make my nails look nice. So I texted my sister-in-law, Ijoma, who's a
real nail head. And
I said, Ijoma, what do I do? And then she said, LOL. I said,
she's right to say it.
Yeah.
She's right to say it. Yeah.
She was like, I do gel, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, what kind do you use? She linked me to essentially like a professional esthetician's wholesale, but she was like, I use this because she's like good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
that is a little advanced for Lindy's rebuilding year. Yeah.
But then I found a website that said for $100, got all the stuff you need. Little lamp. It's got little chemicals and it's got a couple polished colors. So I'm going to try it. Okay.
Also, just really quickly, because I've discovered this on Reddit, when you use gel, do not get any, if you get any on your skin, wipe it off immediately. Otherwise, you can develop an allergy to the chemicals that are in it. And that chemical is in like dental implants and like other stuff. So if you develop an allergy to the stuff that's in gel, you can develop like a dermatitis that ends up like affecting your ability to get like dental work. So just be very careful.
Suddenly this doesn't feel worth it to me anymore.
Well, that's Reddit ruined it for me as well. So
because let me tell you, Meagan, I'm a glooper when I do my own nails. It's not cute.
Yeah, I think it's if like, hey, a stray brush here or there is okay, but just like don't cure it with the stuff on your skin.
Okay. I can probably do that. Look, I'm probably never going to do this, so it's fine.
Deadline's not till February. We don't know.
Okay, here's my other idea for Lindy's rebuilding year. Here's my other idea. Ear cuff. She's considering entering her ear cuff era. That's going to make all the difference, don't you think?
Absolutely.
I need to adorn myself with more jewels. So, a little guy but I don't want to get any more piercings because historically, the tissue, she's a little finicky.
Yeah.
Like I had an eyebrow ring rot off and a nose
me as well
piercing rot off.
But your septum is okay.
My septum's doing great.
Oh, great.
Not one problem. So maybe that was just the capricious youth. My cells were capricious. I don't know. But what if I just had a little metal thing that just clings to the side of the ear? I think that might
Who's going to stop you?
The missing piece, Meagan.
I think that's it. What are you going to trade for these two things?
I think I'm going to give up chocolate milk. I think my chocolate milk era has ended.
Okay.
And I'm also giving up not drinking coffee.
So in a way, you're gaining coffee in this trade.
Yeah. I'm also giving up 3 first-round draft picks.
Okay. Which you have.
In the makeup draft. I don't need any more makeup. And in fact, I'm going to do a purge. I'm going to throw a bunch of shit away.
Nice. Okay, that's pretty good.
So here's what we're going to have. We're going to have Lindy. She has an elegant, minimalist array of makeup. She doesn't have an overwhelming number of little tubes. In addition, she has gel nails for free. She's not allergic to her own teeth because she's careful.
Right.
And the third thing she has is a little metal thing stuck on her ear.
Well, that solves it.
I think that might solve it.
That's a champion talking.
Luckily, I have like 8 months to figure it out. So
that's how years work. Watch your ass, Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, congrats.
Just do it. That's the motto for Lindy's rebuilding year.
Did you just think of that?
Yeah, I did.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Just do it. Lindy's rebuilding year, question mark? Just do it.
Truly the dumbest segment we've ever done on the
show. What?
Actually, it's not. Megan's journey to this day is the dumbest.
No, people loved it.
Megan's journey was so stupid.
People loved it.
I deserve to lose at sports because of Megan's journey.
Can you remind people who haven't listened to that episode.
Yeah. So Megan's journey was, I brought you all along with me to enjoy the absolute cultural powerhouse that is Bad Bunny. Okay. He's performing at the Super Bowl. His existence makes conservatives mad. A lot of conservatives don't know that Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. There's a lot of talk about deporting Bad Bunny. To where? Great question. Let's not get into it. Anyway, I'm obsessed with him. I think he's a really sweet person. I started getting into his music, even though at first I was a little bit intimidated by the language barrier. As it turns out, there was no need. You know, it's great. All of his music is bangers, and he's a great and funny person. When I first introduced this, I was like, I got so hyper fixated on Bad Bunny that I was like, maybe I'll watch Happy Gilmore too, just to get my Benito fix, you know,
because he's in it.
Because he's in it, and my finger was hovering over that play button, and I successfully walked back from that cliff until last night. I needed something to watch. It's one of those days where I felt like I watched everything.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, how bad could Happy Gilmore 2 be? And by the way, in the comments of the post from that episode on our Instagram, friend of the show, Brett Hamill, was like, Happy Gilmore is a terrible film, but all of the Bad Bunny parts are really charming. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna freaking watch Happy Gilmore, dude. Okay. So I did. I put on Happy Gilmore 2.
Do you need to have recently watched Happy Gilmore 1 to understand the plot of Happy Gilmore 2? I
have great news for you, Lindy. No, you don't, because a full 25% of Happy Gilmore 2 is clips from Happy Gilmore 1. Happy Gilmore 2 asks the question, what if we did Happy Gilmore 1 again?
Honestly, that's what the people want.
I know. And the answer is, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You know what? Actually, I think everyone still is like quoting Anchorman or whatever. But there's a lost quote that that set the world aflame when Happy Gilmore 1 came out that people used to say, and no one says it anymore, which is go to your home. Remember
yeah. It's your home.
Go to your home. That's funny.
That is funny. There was funny stuff that happened in that, I assume. I didn't rewatch 1. I watched 2. And if you don't want Happy Gilmore 2 spoilers, I don't know, fast forward like 3 minutes. Within the first 5 minutes of the film Happy Gilmore 2, Happy Gilmore accidentally rocks his wife, Julie Bowen, in the fucking face with a high-speed golf ball, killing her dead on the spot.
Wait, sorry. The first 5 minutes of the film?
Yes. She dies immediately.
They paid Julie Bowen to be in the movie.
To be murdered by her husband. Happy Gilmore 2. By the way, it's not funny when it happens. It's really sad. But I'm soft now. You know, I'm old. By the way, she's just standing there watching the ball come right to her face. And I was like, move over.
Yeah.
Julie. Anyway, so she dies. Happy Gilmore becomes a drunk. By the way, art film fans, Benny Safdie is in it in like a leading role.
They're best friends because of Uncut Gems.
Because of Uncut Gems. Exactly. I don't know who Adam Sandler's muse was. Actually, it's pretty clear. It's his entire fucking family. He's cast his entire family, his wife and his daughters.
You know, I met his wife and daughters.
I'm sure they're really nice. They're definitely like the type of Nepo baby that people get the most mad about because they have no talent at all. And that's, by the way, that's completely fine. I'm not even knocking them. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking stupid movie. I'm sorry. You're an actress. You wanted to be in Happy Gilmore 2? No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
When I was writing my second book, The Witches Are Coming, there's a chapter in it called Is Adam Sandler Funny? Where I sort of just revisited, like, what's happening here? Why is this good? Or is this just white men sort of getting to do whatever they want?
Yeah.
Verdict, both.
Both. Yeah, I think so.
But as I was like just finishing the chapter, 80 invited me and friend of the show, Solomon Giorgio, to an SNL taping, and Adam Sandler was the host. And I was literally like, I had probably already turned it in. Is Adam Sandler funny? ? Verdict? No.
Yeah.
And then I met him and his wife and his little daughters.
Yeah.
And they were so nice.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And so then I was like, I took it back.
Yeah. And you're like, never mind.
And I like added a paragraph at the end that was like, then I met him and he was nice. And honestly, I'm being disingenuous if I'm sitting here acting like I didn't love the Adam Sandler era of SNL.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I had like a bootleg copy of his comedy album on tape.
Oh yeah,
that I listened to all the time.
Well, and you and I used to do a lot of quoting.
But I love the stairs.
They're fun.
They're fun. Oh, Fatty McGee,
you're the fattest. That was one of my earliest. Like, I'm going to ironically reclaim this. This is the most fat phobic, mean shit.
Yeah,
and yet
it was really mean.
I'm laughing. And I'm just going to decide that this is for me and not against me.
Yeah, this isn't for me. This is supporting my lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm Fatty McGee.
This is supportive of my community. Yeah.
Because you know what? Fatty McGee is really nice and everyone likes him.
He's nice. And they love him.
Yeah.
They say so at the end. Anyway, so here's the bad news, gang. Bad Bunny? Barely in this shit.
Oh.
Okay. Could have used about 200% more Bad Bunny and 200% less Adam Sandler's family.
Yeah.
And again, no offense. But they try to do that thing where they're like, wow, your daughter's so talented at ballet. I sent a video of her doing ballet to the ballet school in Paris. And they're saving her a spot. It's like, and then they show her doing like a kind of a janky like pirouette on the porch of their rundown townhouse. Yeah. And I was like, ballet school in Paris? Okay.
Paris from the sewers?
Paris, France? I'm sorry. Sonny Sandler in ballet school? From ballet school?
Is it?
Who's got that janky paw to do? Okay.
Is it the above ground ballet school? Or the downstairs ballet school?
In the ballet school from the sewers? With Eric?
Is he the instructor?
Constructed by Eric? He built it? Anyway, do I recommend Happy Gilmore 2? No, dude, I don't. I don't regret anything either. Every single scene was just like almost a shot for shot remake. It was like, remember the guy with the nail in his head? Here is his son, because the original actor's dead. Then, of course, Joe Flaherty, who's the jackass guy from the first one, or dumbass. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He's dead as well. Fucking rest in power, Joe Flaherty.
Power, King.
Rest easy, King. Please, I beg. He has died. So, Lindy, they naturally got Marshall Mathers, parentheses Eminem, to play his son, who has taken up his mantle of heckling Happy Gilmore at golf tournaments.
I want to say that's disrespectful. But then I thought about it more, and then I thought that's good.
And then you laughed a little bit.
Yeah,
that's the journey that you'll go on with Happy Gilmore too. For various reasons, Happy Gilmore is not allowed to physically fight anyone. I always thought no one was allowed to, but he's especially not allowed to. So he can't fight him. But his brutish sons show up, and they beat the brakes off of Marshall Mathers, chuck him into a pond at the golf course, which is for some reason full of alligators. Whereupon Marshall Mathers is mauled to death by 4 alligators and dies.
And he did it method too.
He did, yeah. He really gone. Yeah.
As you were talking about how Happy Gilmore is for some reason not allowed to fight anyone anymore. In my head, I thought he should go play hockey. Because he loves fighting.
Exactly.
And then I was like,
oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the
why.
plot.
Yeah, that's why he wears that Bruins jersey throughout the whole first one.
That's the whole plot.
So it could have used more Bad Bunny. Jim Downey was criminally underused in this film.
Why do you think Jim Downey was like? He said 2025. That's gonna be my year.
I'm back, bitch.
I'm going to be in everything that you like.
My educated guess is he was so funny on Conan O'Brien's podcast that everyone was like, well, who is this? It's just like these two guys talking about. Jim Downey's just like, look, you have strange taste, Conan. You shouldn't be judged for that. Nobody judges my friend Jeff Epstein. And Conan says, yeah, they do. And Jim Downey goes, Jeff Epstein, the financier? From New York? Conan's like, yeah, the financier with the island. And then basically, Conan tells Jim Downey that Jeffrey Epstein has died. And Jim Downey goes, nice try. I think I would know something happened to Jeff Epstein. You know what? Let's clear this up. Let's call Cailin. And everyone in the room is just weeping.
Yeah.
Because Jim Downey is just really selling this Jeff Epstein bit. And I think that was really the seed from which Eric from the Sewers blossomed. So I feel like I should give Jim Downey his credit for that.
Well, someday when the academics write a history of Eric from the Sewers, they will note that in its primal DNA is that Jim Downey appearance on Conan O'Brien.
I think that's really true. If you're getting your PhD in Jim Downey, give us a call. Let us know. All right, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Well, here we are.
Well, Kevin.
Well, Cailin. Well, Marchie. They're upset because everything is stupid again. I mean, everything is always stupid all the time. Just like really quickly before we end the show, a couple weeks ago now, by the time you listen to this, there were these No Kings protests. And can I just say, everything that I saw was so beautiful. And I'm so proud and like happy that people are feeling like enthusiastic about protesting still, because this has been a fucking long ass, what is this, 8 years on and off of dealing with Donald Trump, and his second term has been way scarier than his first. It's been a lot more existential than his first. And so I think it's really special and really sweet and really powerful that people feel like, I'm not okay with this and I want that to be known. Yeah. And my understanding is that these protests were the biggest this country has seen in like 50 years or something.
Which means our entire
huge.
Lifetime,
Yeah, our entire lifetime. So I just wanted to quickly complain about something, which is, everyone's entitled to their feelings, right? But I don't see the value, okay, in being a person who logs on to say people are protesting wrong, or people should feel bad because they're not doing it right. Like, I don't want to name the person, but there was this one video that was trying to make some grand distinction between a protest and a rally, and that the distinction matters because your goals are different, whether you're going to a protest or a rally. And I would just like to say that's actually horseshit. I don't want to get into it directly with this person. There's no meaningful distinction, in my view, between a protest and a rally. You don't need to show up to a protest or a rally with a 40-point strategic plan. You don't need to work at a think tank to go to a protest or a rally. There are many valuable reasons to go to a protest. I don't think anybody went to those thinking this alone is going to solve all of our problems. Trump will be humbled by our power. Like, obviously, nobody went to those protests thinking that. You did go to those protests, though, because you want to be able to feel like you said something and did something and contributed to some bigger project. And that is all that this is. That's what democracy is doing this forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, even when you're happy, It's
a chance for people to connect with each other and meet each other and get handed a flyer for another action that's coming up. The idea that there's no value in a bunch of people coming together. Again, I live in rural Jefferson County, and we had protests in Quilcene, which is a town of like 1,000 people, maybe 800 people. I don't know. And there's a lot of Trumpy people out here. And then there were people standing on the street signaling to neighbors who might not feel comfortable or might not know how their neighbors feel, how their white neighbors feel, saying, here's what we believe and here's what we think is not acceptable. Yeah. And I just, the idea that there isn't any value in that is like very confusing to me.
It's confusing. It's condescending. And I find it actually pretty obnoxious. I find it counterproductive and actually like kind of harmful to the movement that we need to build to get ourselves out of this. Like, I hate to use the word purity test because that's often used by like the world's worst people to try to tamp down like closely held beliefs about like what our candidates should be saying and doing, right? I don't want it. So, but for lack of a better phrase, like we really don't need to be purity testing the protests like that. Like, I saw a lot of critiques that, people were being too silly because people were dressed like a frog or animals or whatever. And, you and I were talking about this. And then interestingly, the same day you and I were talking about this, Gary Steingart came out with an op-ed in the New York Times basically saying the same thing. So we are not plagiarizing Gary Steingart. We talked about this before. But there is an immense amount of value in being silly, especially if you're protesting in a big city. So just think like Donald Trump's entire narrative about our cities is that they're scary and demonic and dark-sided and evil and full of crime and darkness and scariness. And so imagine, your MAGA uncle, that's all he ever hears about Seattle or New York or Chicago is that it's evil and scary. He tunes in seeing images from the protests and everybody's dressed as a frog. It makes Donald Trump look fucking stupid and scared and out of his mind. Like that is valuable to be silly when the primary narrative being levied at you is that you're scary and bad.
Yeah, and it makes the militarized police and actual military sent in to suppress the protests look crazy and evil and scary and fascist.
That's the point.
It really, it really highlights the fascism. And it's also, I think, really beautifully illuminating the difference between them and us. Sorry, not to be divisive.
There's a real clear them and us in this instance. Half these guys, I don't even know if they actually work for the government. They could be anybody. They could be just like random private posses for all the fuck I know. I really want to pick up on something that you said, because when I was working at Indivisible, big rallies in the cities are really critical and really important, and they get a lot of news coverage. But I always loved it when we would get like a message from an Indivisible group of like 10 people in like Mississippi. Like we had a pro-democracy protest in a city in Alaska with one stoplight. That's better than 1 million people in LA, because these guys want to act like it's not real America that's protesting. It's these coastal elites. It's not, and that's not true. If you have 100 people in Quilcene, which is kind of MAGA, depending on where you go, that provides safety and comfort to people who live in Jefferson County who see that and think, oh, I didn't know that there were more of me out here. That is valuable, even if they're dressed like a frog. It matters. It really is important, So I just wanted to complain a little bit about the discourse. It's really been pissing me off because look, if you're somebody who feels like I think that's stupid and cringy and I would never protest that way, you're totally entitled to your feelings. But like, if that's where most of the people are going to protest, you should be there too. Even if you want to go to be like, here's how to do it better, go do that then. But what I really don't want to see is people posting from home being like, you're doing something dumb. Not interested. Yeah. Don't care. Don't care what you have to say about it, Right. Go and invite them to the next thing that you're planning that's leftier and more progressive. Then do that. That's what these things are for. Yeah. Is to meet people and pull them forward in this movement so that they don't drop out of protesting after one protest. That's why we do them. Yeah. What was that thing that you said, that organizing principle? If someone's coming. If someone's running towards, it's a foundational goddamn organizing principle. If someone is running towards you, don't push them away. If there are people running towards you in a frog costume, you better hug that bitch. Don't be like, you're embarrassing, get away. How does that help anybody? Bring them in and be like, look, we're not doing frog costumes for the next one, but I love that you're here. I'm so glad to meet you. And I'm excited to work with you going forward. But this whole business of like, oh, you're embarrassing. Oh, you need to distinguish which is which before you leave your house. Fuck off. Fuck off. Yeah. That's just a barrier to entry that's going to make more people stay home. And if that's what you want. And you can't tell me that staying home is better. I mean, am I being naive enough? No. Like, No, that's the whole point. Not everyone goes to every protest. Not everyone goes to every rally. For some people, that's all that they are going to do. Maybe they're not going to join up other organizing groups, or maybe they're not going to go to more community meetings or whatever. Maybe that's it. That's fine. That's okay. It's a big deal to leave your house and put yourself at risk to say, I don't like this. I don't like what's going on here. And so this whole hand wringing about how people are doing it wrong is just, I frankly find it incredibly embarrassing. I think that people should just you have my permission to ignore anybody coming across your algorithm saying shit like that. Cause I just think, I don't know what that's about. I don't see how that's helpful. Like we're pretty close to a reality where we don't have elections in this country anymore. Like there's already reporting suggesting that Donald Trump wants to declare a fake national emergency so that he can seize the means of our election infrastructure in this country. And if that happens, all we have left is being outside. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So what you really don't want to do is make people feel like there's something wrong with how they're doing it. Right now is a time to build that muscle. Okay. Because like organizing is like your muscles. You can't let them atrophy. This is a time where we should be building up people's confidence and their muscles and like this muscle memory of like protesting and fighting back instead of being like, you're dumb and embarrassing. Because again, it's a lot easier for the fascists to do stuff like this when people aren't in the street. It's a lot harder when all eyes are on them, which is what happened after those protests. You know? So I just want to say to all of you who went to a No Kings protest, or maybe you didn't, but you're looking for a way to like be more involved. Don't let some fucking poster try to talk you out of it. You're doing great. You're doing amazing. Can I complain about one thing that's related, but not about protesting? You know, this fucking asshole Graham Plattner, he's running for Senate in Maine.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy, gang. I hate this man so bad. So at first, so he was making a lot of inroads with white male voters in Maine, and he was and people were really intrigued by him. He was making people excited. Okay. Just go with me here because I have eventually ended up the same place everybody else did. But then the DSCC, which is in charge of getting Senate Democrats elected, and we're still waiting. They're not particularly successful at doing it. They have a tendency to just trip over their whole dick into a state and fuck everything up for everyone. And they did it last time, which is why Susan Collins won 6 years ago. It's because the candidate they picked ended up not being very good. And then the campaign that she ran was very bad. She like pretty much only ran ads and didn't do a lot of like outreach to actual constituents. This guy, Graham Plattner, figured out the constituent thing at least. So he's like going around and he's getting popular because it's like, wow, he's like a plain spoken. He's a former Marine, which, you know, people can't get enough of, whatever. And then he gets the backing of the pod bros from Crooked. Okay.
Oh, that's why they're in trouble.
and they're all in, and they were all in early, and so's Bernie. Bernie's still, as of today, Thursday, October 23rd. Bernie is maintaining his endorsement. Okay. Even before, which I'll get to, even before we found out some of this bad stuff about this man, no public position on abortion. He doesn't. There's nothing on his website about abortion. These guys, these fucking men, they would rather lose an election and win like 12 white votes than win an election with women. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the obnoxious thing is that the DSCC and Emily's List comes in to be like, we're endorsing Janet Mills. She's currently the governor of Maine. She's 77 years old. Okay. And they're like, we're endorsing her. And at first it felt very much like, the DSCC doesn't like it when people are popular and interesting. Which is why they showed up to get Graham Plattner the fuck out of here. And that is true. I stand by that. That is the only reason I think they got involved in this race is because they're like, well, we can't have people excited about helping the working class. That will never do. Yeah. And so they're, I believe, behind a lot of this opposition research that came out. Now, here's the rub. The opposition research is pretty bad. As it turns out, Graham Plattner has a very problematic Reddit history where he's like posting racist stuff. Turns out, as of yesterday, we found out he was posting like the F slur about gay people. And he tried to be like, oh yeah, I don't believe that stuff anymore. That was a stupid thing to say. He was posting this shit in 2021.
Oh.
When he was 36 years old.
Yeah. You do still believe that.
But he was just a baby, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And here is the crown jewel of the opposition research. Graham Plattner has a Nazi tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I know everybody knows this at this point where you are, but now everybody who's endorsed him, it's like, it's all this hand wringing. It's like, well, you know, he's not poll tested. It's okay to run real candidates. You don't have to pull people off the Harvard conveyor belt for every race. Like, he was really connecting with people. And I was like, I think that there might be a third option somewhere between Harvard conveyor belt and Nazi tattoo with no public position on abortion.
Yeah.
Okay. And like the pod bros are disintegrating over this. They had Graham on to lob him some softballs about like, it's crazy. Who would ever believe you knowingly got a Nazi tattoo? Meanwhile, all of Graham Plattner's friends were like, he knew. Because he would come to Happy Hour and be like, oh, this is my Nazi tattoo. Okay. And then I just like sitting there thinking, just like, try to imagine, okay, this level of hand-wringing about who is and isn't entitled to a Senate seat, if the candidate was a woman with a Nazi tattoo and no public position on abortion. Try to imagine if that would be the case, or if we would have sent her to space by now. Okay?
Dude.
So I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm sorry.
I have two thoughts. The first one is, what's a green beret?
Oh, yeah. By the way, apparently this man was at Abu Ghraib. But we can't have candidates off the Harvard conveyor belt. It's this or nothing, America.
I always think about, because there's like army, and then there's like special army.
Special ops guy.
And then one of the special army, and by army, I mean boat army, land army, sky army, other boat army, and one of the boat armies, Coast Guard, and one of the
National Guard Army,
and then the casual army,
weekend army,
So one of the special armies is Green Beret, and I just want to say that's gay.
Why do you get a special hat?
It's complimentary, but you got your special little hat?
Parentheses, hat.
You wear it sort of jauntily on the side?
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it goes right over the little eyeball.
Oh,
so
you
cute.
chapeau. I'm just saying.
It's something to think about for sure.
I'm just saying. My other thought is, I'm obsessed with this moment. I don't know why this has reverberated through my consciousness for years and years. And maybe I've even brought this up on the show before, because I always think about it. There's this moment in The Handmaid's Tale, the book.
Yes.
I haven't watched the show, but so I don't know if it happens in the show. There's this moment in the book where the main character, she has her like very devoted, beloved, liberal, normal husband. Things start to fall apart. Kind of, maybe they're at the moment that we're at right now.
Yeah, like literally, like if you need like a fictional parallel, this is it. Okay.
She goes to the store to buy something, and her credit card is declined, and she leaves, and she's like, what's going on? And then she hears that the government has like made it so that women can't have credit cards.
Yeah.
And then her husband, who is a quote unquote good guy, normal liberal guy, is like, he opposes the government overreach and whatever. He's like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Like, I'll take care of us and whatever. Yeah. And then she says that she can feel that on some level he's excited by this.
Yeah. There's like a thrill. I'm so glad you brought this up, because when I was screaming about this last night to my husband, I also brought this up.
Yeah.
It's like, that is how Handmaid's Tale happens. Like, yes, Republicans are powerful and rich and they hate us. That's a given. But it's this whole thing of like, well, if we just run anti-choice Democrats, we could win. And it's like, but that isn't winning if they're going to sign on to a bill that takes away my credit card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if that man thinks that if I have a pregnancy complication, I'm not allowed to have abortion medication to save my life, that doesn't help me, actually.
That's actually not the Democratic Party then. Like that's not.
It's not. That's something else. Right. And by the way, it's only men talking about this shit. It drives me crazy. It's like there's no women in these, like Ta-Nehisi Coates and Ezra Klein chopping it up over whether or not I get to have rights. Like obviously Ta-Nehisi Coates is on the right side of history here, but it's like there was no.
Yeah.
Hello? Well, like, what the fuck is this? And like,
well, there's Jessica Valenti shouting into the void, being like,
yeah, I know. Hello? Like me and you and every other woman hoping somebody listens. But that to me is so Handmaid's Tale that it's like, hi, help. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, and no one, you'll note Ezra Klein's not having that conversation with a woman. Okay, or anybody that's affected, or a trans person, or anybody who's actually affected by these, like, kind of what I think, I don't know if he actually used this phrase, but this idea that it's some sort of like ancillary issue, or like throwaway issue, that it's not core to what we need to fix our country's problems. Yes, it is, dude. If you think that electing somebody who doesn't even have the balls to support abortion, that person's going to turn around and vote for a transformative pro-democracy bill, no, they won't. That person is a fucking coward. Here's how I know. Here's how we all know, because we all lived through Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, two massive fucking cowards. Okay? Joe Manchin is the most mealy-mouthed bitch on abortion in the Senate. Well, he's gone. He's not in the Senate anymore, but he was like the last sort of, I don't even know what you would call that policy position. Not for me, but I guess it's fine, but I don't really like it. Like very into the stigma of it all. Right? That is not the type of person who's going to steer the ship out of a fascist takeover of our democracy, because they're not even brave enough to support women and trans people, which is actually technically the bare minimum. So don't sit there and be like, well, if we just elect anti-choice Democrats, it'll be fine, because it won't, because we already have done that, and they won't do what we need on other stuff either.
What's an anti-choice Democrat?
What are you talking about?
You're disenfranchising half the population. That's what you believe in?
You think that some MAGA, hard right MAGA voter in the South is going to be like, oh, well, he's anti-choice, I guess I'll hear him out. Fuck no.
No. All you're doing is, if you start to slide into women being at home and being pregnant and having babies and being dead and being taken care of by their benevolent husbands, those women are leaving the public sphere. And that's the point.
It's not an accident that the Supreme Court started by gutting the Voting Rights Act and then moved on to gutting abortion rights, because you cannot fix this problem, the abortion problem, if the voting rights problem is already broken. That was by design. So like all of this shit that they're doing now, they empowered themselves to do by saying, well, we don't really need a Voting Rights Act anymore. Yeah. We'll go ahead and disenfranchise like every single black voter in the entire country. And the Supreme Court is probably going to allow some of the most extreme gerrymandering this country has ever seen, which would result in probably a net gain of 19 seats for Republicans, meaning I don't know if I can see a universe in which Democrats would ever win the majority in the House ever again in a situation like that. Now, you tell me how we're going to vote our way out of that. You know what I mean? So, but it's like this idea that like, oh, these two things are separate. Yeah. They're not. Yeah. By design, they were like, we have got to get rid of the lever of accountability. And once we do that, we can tie them to the train tracks and roll over them. Which some of us want. I have actually requested that
because the Mariners lost. But yeah, I mean, and I would posit, I would argue that this is happening in part because some of these liberal men on some level, maybe subconsciously, they like it. They like the idea of women being reliant on them,
being dependent on them. Exactly.
That's horny making to them.
I had forgotten about that part of the book, and then you reminded me, and I think about it all the time now. But this idea that there's this like kind of secret thrill among liberal men, like that's the danger. Yeah. You know? Yeah. That it's like, it's some sort of cosmic rightness snapping back into place for them. And I get it. We're all indoctrinated into this. And I'm sorry, the right has successfully made it
sound ludicrous and absurd to even say the word patriarchy.
I know.
That's what that is.
Yeah, they're like patriarchy sleeper agents. Anyway, we meant to end the show 29 minutes ago. I'm really sorry. But I just want to end this by saying that is why no one should ever make you feel bad about hitting the streets in whatever way that looks like for you or whatever way that is for you, because we're running out of levers. And by the way, it's not just about like sending a message to Trump. It's also about sending a message to the entire planet, the whole world, that like not everybody here likes this. Most of us don't like this.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe there were some people who voted for him, they're not really MAGA, but they thought, oh, he'd be good on the economy. They learned their lesson. Okay. Like, and if those people are running towards us, we should be like, welcome in. And if that's like what your protest, if that's what like your resistance looks like, that is fine. That's fine.
And by the way, if the people running towards us are anti-choice, they can still run towards us. And
we will need to have some convos.
And we'll have here's my proposal. We have some convos. We don't make them the head of the party.
And see, that is the thing. Oh my God. Yes, that's the thing that's been driving me crazy about this. Like because, you know, people who say a version of what I just said tend to get dunked on a lot online, and that's okay. But I am not arguing, and I know you weren't accusing me of this. I'm not arguing for when people are running towards you, you pull them in and then you let them lead you. No one is saying that. Although Democrats, speaking of getting horny for stuff, oh, they love an ex-Republican. Democrats would rather have 5 ex-Republicans than 1,000 Democratic voters. It's so weird. And like, remember Kamala hitting the trail with fucking Liz Cheney? What was that?
The obsession with Liz Cheney.
It's crazy. It's so insane. So it's like, that's not what I'm talking about. Or this idea that like, oh, well, I guess we better put Liz Cheney on television to represent all Democrats. That is not what I mean. What I mean is if people like that are willing to work with us to get the right people elected, that's fine. Should that person be the leader of our movement? No, I am not saying that. And I never will say that. Okay. Like, so just to be really, really clear about it. But this idea of like, well, it took you too long to figure out that it was bad, therefore you can never be a part of this movement. That ultimately is not going to be helpful. Like if people get there genuinely and they're genuinely like remorseful for their role in this, that counts for something, I think.
Well, and that's why it's important to be a movement that has genuine ideals.
Big D Democratic ideas are popular. Democratic politicians aren't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Not, oh, we need to throw all of our morals and values and our entire party platform out the window. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
In fact, people like having a higher minimum wage. Actually, abortion is very popular.
Yeah.
People want housing to be affordable. All those things are popular. They just don't trust and believe any of you guys because you go on Ezra Klein's podcast talking about we should throw all of our values out the window and just do whatever we can to get elected. Who would fucking vote for that? You know what I mean? It's insane. Anyway, thank you all for coming on this very long journey with us. I just want you to know that everything you're doing is perfect and unimpeachable, and you've never done anything wrong in your lives. And thanks for listening to our show because everything really sucks pretty bad. So
yeah, we love you a lot.
And now I kind of feel bad mentioning this, but if you like what you hear, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/protectsmebackpod, and be a part of it because I don't know. I think this helps. It helps me feel better about life. So hopefully it helps you guys too.
Megan, I think this segment's really going to pump people's nads.
Like, just one last thing and then we can have the show. Like, I got to be serious at a protest when the president is putting out an AI video of himself dropping feces out of an airplane onto protesters. And you're telling me I got to be serious? This man is pooping on the American people. Actually, we don't know where the poop came from.
Yeah, whose poop is it?
You know, whose poop is that?
How did he even rig up the plane to do that?
Who put the poop in the chute? Who put the poop in the chute? Okay. Anyway, thanks for listening. Subscribe to our Patreon. Follow us at all the various places. Let us know how you're feeling emotionally. I bet bad, but let us know. And
pre-order Adult Braces by Lindy West.
Because we need to leave the country.
Dude, Zara Sound Force, Ahamefle J. had a blockbuster standing ovation show in Leeds, UK last night. And I was like, let's move to Leeds. Let's move to Leeds.
Let's defect. We need to defect.
Sounds like you're a superstar in the UK. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about like, but what would happen to Kevin?
I know.
If they take me.
I know.
But last time we talked about it, you were like, kind of an own goal on ice. If they take you in and they get stuck with Kevin,
yeah.
Kevin's low-key demonic, you know? That's their punishment. Yeah. That's what you get.
Meagan, Kevin would join ice.
Kevin is in ice right now.
Oh, we forgot to talk about floor bed. Well, next time, cliffhanger.
Well, tune in next week. Oh, actually, we can't talk about it next week because we have a guest, unless he cancels. So I don't want to tell you who it is on the off chance that he cancels.
So next week, we either have an extremely high-profile special guest, or we're going to talk about floor bed.
Who could say? Get into it. See you next week. Mwah.